Let me just open it up here. Is there any before talking about it? Is there anybody that want to have a question, like a general question regarding the three questions that is available, or the three questions that I asked here, the assignment questions? Nobody. Okay. So it's not your first time that you do a paper. So I think you're all familiar already with the way that they want the papers to be done. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk just quickly scan about it. And then tonight, I want to talk about question 1 or task 1. And I think task 1 will bleed over to task 2 and task 3 eventually. So in task 1, I'm going to do more the theoretical part and what is essential, or what I think you can look at if you don't have an idea about it. And then on, I think it's Sunday night, I will feel a little bit better probably by that, because if you look at me, I look happy and friendly. I can act like Mr. Earl there, because I'm actually dead tired. I drove all the way here, 11 hours. I drove with my car last night to come here to teach 2 classes. And after your class, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock tonight, I'll get in my car and drive 11 hours back home. So thank you, COVID. I cannot fly. I have to drive with my car. So it is. So if I look when I fall asleep while I'm talking, it is. Can I blame it on COVID-19? Hopefully not. Okay, right. So let us look at a question, and we're looking at this first, and I'm just going to go quickly through it. We all know about plagiarism and collusion. I'm not. We all know what is plagiarism and how plagiarism is looking at referencing. You're all. I think with my other courses or the classes that I teach you, referencing is no problem. Also with appendices, as I said, the appendices is very easy. That you have to include is like tables, graphs, diagrams, charts. In this topic today, I think you can use a lot of appendices, and you can make it easier for you on your discussion, because 500 words on this task 1, I think, is very, very little. So if you want to have that good score, I will look at bringing in something more important, and we will discuss it a little bit later. Confidentiality, for sure, there is confidentiality. The word count, learners must comply with the required word count within margin of plus minus 10%. So it is not much. You can only 550 words or something. It's not. It's really, really very few words. As I say, we will go through it and see. Okay, submission and assignment. You know how you submit your work. Marking and the grades will be there. It's almost standard. Okay. Now we come to the question. The question says the scenario is you must use your own employment context. If it's a sensitive environment where you're working, or like in Ronald's case, Ronald, you can even use your old insurance company if you want to, if you are capable of doing it, or you can create your a fake company. I don't think that is very important. In your case, it's a new company that you're going to, so I don't think you'll know all the details regarding it. If you do, great, then you're a great employee already before you start. If the company is sensitive, then I would not use my company. But if it's not, I play around with a company like a make-believe company. I don't think it's very important. I don't look at what is the company all about. I think they want you to see that you can implement the theory and in the practical part within it. So in that case, depending on what you want to do, so learners may use their own employment contracts in another organization with which they are very familiar. Choose something that you are familiar with. It just makes it easier to write and to write passively about this company. Okay. In this case, you are a senior manager leading the marketing department of the organization. Your team is responsible for identifying and delivering a marketing plan that supports organizational objectives. Okay. Question 1, task 1, 500 words. I wanted it to be 5,000 words, but okay, 500 words. It's very, very few. So select what you are going to do. I'm going to give you a lot of information tonight. And then from that, select, don't have to write about everything. Your chart and your that you can use and your tables you can use, put it in the back and just reference back to it and give the results into your paper to make sure that this paper is nicely to read. And it's an interesting paper, and because I think marketing overall is very interesting, and I think this question is quite interesting as well. Good evening, John. So in this question, they said critically evaluate a range of marketing tools. Okay, critically, what does critically mean? Let me see who's first. My hand fall on who first. My sleepy, my guy who's sitting get paid to be in my class, Mr. Diaz. What do you think means critical evaluation? Mr. Diaz. Oh, he's now with the boss, so he cannot answer me. Okay, Ronald, you're so quiet tonight. What do you
Yeah.
think is critical evaluation?
Well, you evaluate the things and then you like give the pros and cons and then
Yes.
yeah,
So,
give a conclusion on that.
pros and cons in this case is very important. That you're not only looking at the positive side of your or whatever tool you are evaluating, pros and cons. So pro, con, and an example. If you can bring an example into from your workplace, that's why I say use something that is familiar to you. If you can't use your own company or a company that you worked for before, create something that you are familiar with at home or at your as a hobby that you created into a workplace. I'm not going to dictate to you what you guys must do, but because if you can critically then evaluate it, you can also come up with an example. So that is like um, the pro, the con, and an example why you think it is a good tool that you are using or not using it, because you have to evaluate what you are using on the moment as a marketing manager. We're looking at the tools, the techniques, and the principles that can be deployed to support general organization strategy. We're going to go that into more detail. Exploration of market orientation will be the value here, that it must bring us as a company where we want to be in the marketplace. I like this question for two reasons. For the one reason, I think it's a very open question people can write about. The second question is we can practically use this question in our workplace. Doesn't matter if we are like in a project team where we're looking only at project. We can looking at the marketing, because why are we in a company? What is our strength in a company? We want to make sure people come and use our product. And so I think what we are doing here um, is can be very, very helpful in our life. In Ronald, in the case of going to a new company as well, that you can come in there as you're going to go into management side there, Ronald.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, so immediately you walk in there as a manager with a skill that it can help you. So looking at this thing, I think is good for the future of your own strategic life and on the future. Okay, so summarize. Okay, then they said summative explores how these techniques impact on marketing planning back into your own company as well. Organization and increasing deploying market concept in many functional areas as a seamlessly fashion of benefits in the organization. What will be the benefit to the organization? Um, if I say students, it is so important. I had on the moment I'm teaching at Webster. I'm teaching one of the courses I'm teaching is operational management. And we had to choose it. I want my students not only to have the theoretical part, so bring in a practical part as well. In doing that, I said to them, let's look at something that is workable now. In their case, they chose something like a vegetable, organic vegetables, that everybody. So I have students from that's going to research Nepal. Two groups is doing Myanmar. Another group is doing Thailand. And yes, I think yeah, to Myanmar, Nepal, and Thailand. So in this case, what I say, why is that important? Because COVID-19, we all moan COVID-19, created more opportunities in the new world than it create bad things. Yes, many people lose their jobs. I think sometimes jobs that was lost was anyway dinosaurs. The new way of looking at work is going to be completely different than it was in the past. People are more health conscious. People don't want to die for sure. So they are going to look at, in this case, in the food industry. If you're looking at the banking industry, how will your bank be better than in the past? Is your bank, and I'm just here because I have two students here from the banking industry, is your bank going to be doing the same that they did before COVID. If they're doing that, I'm sure your bank is going to run into financial trouble due to I talk about the Basel Agreement, where what happened in the Basel Agreement. So whenever you do now, take in consideration what happened with COVID-19 and how COVID-19 influenced the way people look and deal with things. Mr. Diaz is waiting for a shipment that must go. I have a student here that is very, very depressed. So because COVID-19 again, she is buying things here from China, Thailand, and then she sends it over back to Burma, to Myanmar. The borders are closed. She's with trouble, and big trouble, because she can't get the things across. So the consumers, they said, we paid you money. We want our supplies. Why can't you deliver? So today I said to her, name is Nancy. I said, Nancy, find a person who's doing this kind of work across borders, a well-known, even if you lose on a profit on the moment, but get somebody that can bribe on both sides of the gate. Don't look now at chasing profits, but looking that your business can grow. So all this kind of strategies is changing from where we were in the past. Okay. So in this case, looking at this detail, so looking at your company through the market strategies and the market techniques and tools that we're going to discuss a little bit more, see how that will fit within your company. I'm going to lose quite a lot. I think there's 13 tools that I'm going to talk about, 14 tools I want to talk about tonight. You don't need to use all 14. Use, because of the word count, use less, but use ones that you feel you can use practically also in your workplace, so that it's actually beneficial more for you than only to pass the test, okay, to pass the task. Number 2 in this question will be determine how key marketing methodologies and approaches contribute towards marketing plan with diverse organizations. This task will be blended into 1.2. So how the marketing methodologies will blend in to your marketing plan that you already have. Okay. Detail the component plan, parts of the plan, considering your organization context is complex. Ensure that these component parts have sufficient to address complexity. Perform a risk assessment, or other methodologies on your choice, put in place and contribute a plan. So there's a lot of work here for a very, very few words. I still think they forgot a zero there, but because I think it is, oh, that was so tired, or Ibrahim, I'm not sure yet, who come to ask these people to drop a zero. So from 5,000 words, and I would ask for a question like this, they come only to 500. So by doing that, I have a few things I want to talk about. So I want to look let me just get to this thing. I got you on my screen. Unfortunately I can't share it with you guys, because if I share it, it's personal information. No, I lie. I just got it here on the internet website. So what is the marketing strategies? And I'm using a few that we can look at. The first one, and I don't know how you know this, is a business model canvas. Do any one of you know about the business model canvas? Oh, you know what's a business model canvas, Ronald?
No, no. Well, what is
The business model canvas.
business model canvas? No, no idea.
Okay, all right. John? Nalaka? Mr. Diaz? Two students are very quiet tonight. Okay, Ibrahim, do you know the
No
business model
idea about
canvas?
that, sir.
Okay, right. Then I see there's some more students. Welcome to the students that just joined in. I see there's some new students that are joining in. Okay, I'm going to go through it very slowly to tell you what's a business model canvas. Okay, it is probably, I use it not only at the university where I teach. I also use it in physically when we evaluate, when I deal with international companies, as well as with international governments, where I use this as a strategic. It's a way to look strategically at nearly every component that we use within our business. It's very it's broken up. You can please do yourself a favor, and I just have a problem because I'm going to check the whole time where I put you so I can look at your faces again. So the business model canvas is very, very important. Only the business model canvas alone, you can do your whole paper on it. I think it's probably the most important, but that's my thought. But if you use something else, it's also no problem. But it's such a detailed way of looking at what happened in strategy and looking at, in this case, what look at the marketing side. And let me go quickly through it. So the first thing that you will look at, you will break it into blocks. And in these blocks, the first one is the value proposition. Now, what is value proposition? Value proposition is then when you're looking at the business of what you offer, does it meet the needs of the customer? So the first three I'm going to discuss is going to be the customer needs. That's your product. We all have a product. If is your bank, is the things that you're doing in your bank, does it meet the need of what the consumer wants, what your customer wants, what your client wants? In any business place where you are, the same would happen now to Earl. Is doing new project. Is that what the customer needs? Is it going to help the customer? And that is what the first question that you ask within this model. Okay, your value proposition. It gives you, is it how new? What is the newness of your product? Is it old dinosaur way of looking at things, or is it how new is your product? What is the performance from, not from your perspective, the value proposition from the perspective of your consumer or your customer. So how do they see? We market anything, but do we market it from our perspective, or do we market it from the consumer's perspective? I like the word called WIIIFM, and some of my students know. I think I said this current acronym before. For me as a consumer, what is in it for me? If I buy something, if I buy a service or I buy a product, what do me as a consumer, what do I get from it? I'm going to use a simple example. We're coming to a value proposition. In the COVID time, when COVID was so bad that in Chiang Mai, where I stayed, even the shops were closed, I got to Chiang Mai and I couldn't travel back to Bangkok. I have an apartment in Bangkok. And in Bangkok apartment, all my shoes were in Bangkok, except a pair of shoes I had on my body. So then I want to buy new shoes because I'm not allowed to travel to Bangkok. Or if I wanted to travel to Bangkok and they stop me next to the road and these guys don't like me because Thailand is sometimes very weird when it comes to foreigners. They are a little bit of anti-foreigner, and they scan me and they find but my temperature is too high. There and then, doesn't matter where they stop in the middle of nowhere, I have to go into quarantine. So to prevent that, I stayed at home. So now I need shoes. I can't go to a shop. All the shops are closed. So I had to buy online. So I bought online from a company, very bad, I used an online company called Lazada, that is very well known here in Thailand. And I bought shoes from a company, I don't even want to mention the name. It's the most useless company I ever met in my life. So I want shoes now on that site 3 months ago. Okay. So here I stuck. I ordered the shoes. I thought, okay, to make it easier for them to get the shoes, I pay the money up front. So I paid the money. Now I wait for my shoes. And everything arrived except my shoes. So the first week, the second week, I can accept because it is taking slower, it is longer. The first month, I started to get very upset. I started to scream at them. And I started to go in the inbox and say, talk to them. And then they give one lie after the other lie after the other lie. And I paid already up front. Then I ordered shoes from another company, and that shoes arrived. And March, April, May, June, July, August. 7 months later, last week, the shoes arrived. What is the value proposition of this company towards me as a customer? They had all the lies in the world out there, but it's bad lies. So mentioning this is when you talk about newness and the performance of your company, use examples, not my example, but you use an example where you find that is why customer performance is very important. So in my case, this company was bad. I look at it as a consumer. Newness, yes, the product looked okay. The performance was of the company was bad. Not from their perspective. They said no, but they blame it on COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19. It's an easy excuse. Later on, I think more people complained about them, so they created now, if you go online, a computer answered you. Nice. So they had people to pay money for making a program because they are tired of typing in there COVID-19. Okay. So that is me as a customer perception. If it was really that it was an over requirement for shoes by that time, be honest. Then probably people will understand. 7 months is a long time, but people will understand. So that is when it comes from performance side. Customization, can you customize the product? If you know, I don't know if you know, if you order something from Thailand and like the shoe size, if my shoe size is a 43, I must order a 45, otherwise it will not fit. And that I also learned the hard way. So in that case, again, is it customization? Can they change it for you? Okay. Is the problem, is the thing what you are doing a value, back to the value proposition? I'm still saying with the first block, is it getting the job done? Is whatever your company doing, is your marketing plan doing what you set out it to do? Does it achieve your goals? Does it achieve your mission? Does it achieve your vision? So be very, that is all part from, not from your perspective, but from the perspective of the consumer. Okay. Then the next one, you saw in your value proposition, the design of the product. How easy is it to change? Is the design up to date into nowadays? Or is it like what happened with Apple? And people think Apple and Steve Jobs was the nicest guy that was out there. I think if Steve Jobs was still in Apple, and I all respect to him passing away and being sick with cancer and then died, but Steve Jobs was a terrible man. If people read who he was and what he did for Apple, he actually created Apple to stand still, and Samsung caught up with him, and that was why Huawei and Xiaomi on that stage caught up with Apple, because Steve Jobs said the design will be exactly to my specification, nothing will be a big screen, everything will be called an iPhone. And only when he stepped down that things started to change slowly into Apple, and Apple became who they are. So design is important in some cases. Is your design user friendly? Is your design, whatever your design in your product is it meeting again the marketing objective and measures that you put out there? The next thing is branding and status. Branding, we all know it's important. Uh, Again, what is the value of your branding? Does people really want to wear your product or go to your bank because of this bank is a great bank? Or do they have no choice but to go to your bank and say, I hope there was somewhere else I can put my money. If I don't put it under my bed, it's maybe not a good idea, but that is what is your value proposition in the come to brand and the status within the industry. Your price, how does your price value to your product? Okay. Cost reduction. Another one can be risk reduction. What is the value proposition of the risk that you have in your company? Coming back to the banks, is your bank going to be there a year, 2 years from now? If more people is having non-performing loans where they cannot pay the amount, can that bank afford to take this risk longer and longer? Or what are they going to put in place? As I mentioned earlier on in Thailand, one of my banks that I'm working with, that I have a car loan with, they said, okay, stop payment from March to September. I paid this month my first installment. No, can I say, non-performing loan. No time that I have to say, oh my God, sorry, I didn't pay my account. And then it could have an effect on the amount of money that I can store, because it's risk-free money that was there. So in that case, what is the value proposition to me, a customer? What happened to me as a customer? I think it's a great bank. I also have a loan with another bank called Nissan Leasing. They're doing, I think, through Citibank. Citibank is the bank. Citibank said, pay. We don't want you to stop paying throughout this period. No problem. I was lucky in a position that I still got my salary from my university. Doesn't matter. So I was able, it was part and parcel within my budget. But what about somebody that work in the tourism industry and they had a car or he has a car and he couldn't pay anymore? They didn't budge, they didn't bend over, or they didn't help the consumer. So what is my thinking about the bank now? If I can, I will take my money out of that bank and I will not invest with him again. Okay? Value proposition. So what is your accessibility to the staff, to the people? And then in value proposition, the last part is what is the convenience and the usability of your product or of your service? That is one part in this whole setup of your business model canvas. The second part is your customer. So that, any question about the first part? No question.
No, sir. We're good.
Okay. So if I go too fast, or you want to have a question, please don't. It's not rude to ask me, while I'm talking. Okay. On the moment I have that screen in front of me, so I can't see if somebody wants to wave to me or pull faces. Don't pull a face at me. Oh, but I can't see anything. So I'm looking at the screen. So if there any question, please don't hesitate to ask me. Okay. In the next part of your on your customer side in your business model canvas, we're looking now physically at the customer itself, not at your value proposition, but the customer. What is my customer segment? How does my customer segment look like? Okay, is my customer segment what I want to serve? Are they a mass market? Are they a niche market? Are they segmented? Mass market is easy. There's no specific segment, so we market to everybody. In a niche market, we're looking at a certain customer spectrum. And I was just looking at the banking side. I remember on the banking side. In the banking side, am I an agriculture bank? Am I going to looking at the small time farmer or the farmer, or am I going to looking at the business people, or just mass market? It doesn't matter who. A savings bank or a borrowing a lending bank, or am I going to do whatever I'm going to do? So make sure that you're looking at your marketplace or your niche market in this case. Are you segmented your further than only in a niche market? You can segment your customer even more based on either gender, male or female, depending on male or female, or a male, female. I don't know what you call them, but it is very difficult. I've talked to my students today. Actually, you cannot ask gender now, but you can market them. Am I doing clothing? Or I don't know what your business are in, or what marketing you are looking at. If you're looking at clothing, are you setting to a certain gender? As you setting to a certain age? And this is scary because, again, I must stay away from online shopping. It doesn't work for me because gender, male, age, very young. Yes, everybody's quiet. Okay, very young. So very young male. Now I order a pair of, 3 pairs of jeans because I don't have time to go to the shopping center. Now shopping centers are open now. I don't like to go and dress up in shopping centers, so I've ordered online. I know my size. My size is a 33 going to a 34, or 34 going to 33. I'm actually losing weight. So this looks like a nice pair of jeans, and I ordered 3 pairs. I ordered a gray one, and a khaki one, and a brown one. Here they come. Very quickly delivered. Then I put them on, and oh my goodness. Gender, no problem. For jeans, male or female, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a zip side, but I'm not even sure. Age, problem. Because all three of these pair of jeans are stretch jeans. Now, for me at my age, I don't want to put something on that is stretching against my calves and against my thighs and look, wow, you look so sexy in a pair of jeans. I felt uncomfortable. Now it's already ordered. So how did they segment me in the age as well? No, they didn't even mention that in the marketing strategy. Will I use them again? No, not because it's a bad company, but because they didn't offer me. They showed me a picture, but it didn't say it's going to stretch me to kingdom come. It's just comfortable on my body, but I don't like it because it's so tight to my body. Okay, and so segment can play a role sometimes in the fashion industry, or use that as an example, or is it can also you can segment it down to income. Um, is it are you going into a niche market, segmented into a higher income or a lower income? Sometimes a bad product in a higher income will pull people from a higher income, depending who your market segment is segmented into, your customer segment. Okay, you can also diversify. In this case, you do more than one segment at a time. And that is all part of say that is now your marketing tool that you're using. Okay. Number two, on the customer segment. The same was in the last one. In your customer segment will be the multi-sided platform. So what you're doing here, I can offer a credit card service or a cash service or a cash on delivery service. Okay. So all this, how am I going to segment my customers? What kind of customers do I want? Um, Depending on your business, depending what you are looking at and why you're going to do it. I'm talking now about physical products, but it can also be for the banking industry. Bringing it into who am I going to market for? Everybody, niche market. I'm going to a certain market, segmented. I'm going to for the young students who want to have loans for student loans or buying new cars. Um, Am I diversifying it even further to see what different characteristics of the people, or am I going to make it into a different characteristics in every bank and different packages? So everything from service to whatever you can do it in the customer service. The third group you have there in your business model is a channel. Now the channel is exactly where my friend Mr. Diaz is today, and he is waiting for the product to be loaded so they can ship it out. So in your channel means, how are you going to channel this? How are you going to send this product out to your customer? The company can deliver its true value by saying what is the different channel that they can reach the customer. Um, am I going to go online? And I just want to use this as an example again, back into the banking, actually into the insurance, where Ronald's old job. In insurance, they thought in I think it was in South Africa, that it will be nice for people, if I want an insurance or a life insurance, to take out the underwriter. You go online and you type in your information, and the online system will create for you whether or not you are allowed to get insurance, and this will be your premium, and this is what you can cover. So you can play around with it, and if you're lucky, if you are happy with everything, that you actually um, modify your own package to your own ability. If you are happy with it, whoop, you hit enter, and the process has been approved. And if it's been approved, you pay your first payment, and everything is happy. And the insurance company dropped. It actually went very, very bad. And the reason being, if people want to deal with money, if I want to borrow money, or if I want to save money, or if money is close to me that I want to look at the life insurance in this case, I want to talk to someone. So the computer system, even though it was perfect, it saved cost in having that underwriter there. It created a problem because for the customer, again, customer side, the customer said, if I want to do this, I want to talk to someone. I want to talk to someone to say, when I die, I want to have a will or a testament to say what will happen with my money. I don't want to tell it to a machine, because a machine is not personal enough. I don't feel like he can understand my situation of passing away or moving over to the other side or whatever. So in this case, the insurance company was looking at the cost saving side, but it didn't look at what the customer wants. And that is what we do in the business canvas model, is looking at what is the customer side. Okay, the channel that we are using. Okay, are we going to use an upfront store, or are we going to use only online? So what is the channel that we are going to use in our distribution of our service or of our product? I was saying to students today that people are lazy. The more you can do for them, the better. But that is not in your marketing plan. Now, so in your marketing plan, what are you guys doing now? Is it to the best of your interest now? How is your company going to look in the future? Because remember, we can look at it theoretically, and we can look at how our companies was doing it for the last 20 years that was successful. I promise you, if you're doing it the same you did it last year, it is going to run into trouble. It doesn't matter which company you are in, because now we had COVID-19, who's creating a situation where people have to wear masks. People cannot rush together and stand at a place where they can be serviced. So, and on the other hand, me as a consumer, I am scared. I don't want to die. So, marketing must make sure that they incorporate that into the channel of distribution as well. And that becomes a big issue. Okay. And then the last one in the customer side is your customer relationship. Okay. Your customer relationship ensures the survival and success of your business. What is your relationship with the customer? Do you give personal assistance, or do you have a computer that is talking? Do you have phone? Beep beep beep. I want to talk to this customer. Please press 1 if you want English. Please press 2 if you want Tagalog. Please press 3 if you want Spanish, or 4 if you're German or whatever. Now, oh my God, I'm Russian, so there's not even there. So what must I do? Oh, the thing died, so I must ask again. So is it personalized, or is it there's somebody there that say, "Good morning, how may I help you?" Depending on the company, depending on how you're going to do it. Or do you have dedicated personal assistant, somebody that is there? I'm going to use an example. I think I mentioned this example before. I hopefully not. But I was in China. Now I sit in China in a city called Donghua. Now Donghua is a small German community next to Shanghai, and my Dell computer packed up. The hard drive just collapsed. So I thought, okay, if you're still under guarantee, so I picked up the phone and I phoned the toll-free number for customer service. And here answers a girl, very friendly, in kind of an American accent. It sounded like American. And she said, "How may I help you?" I said, "Wow, that was quick." She said, "I didn't even have to ring 10 hours before she answered. It was very, very quick for her to answer." And she said to me, "How may I help you?" I said, "Oh, I have this problem. This is my serial number." And she said, "Just hold." And she's on, I know she's on the computer. And she checks it. "Okay, you are still under guarantee, on warranty. What's wrong?" I said, "No, this is happening." She said, "Don't worry. Tomorrow, I will send out one of my technicians to your company or to your university to replace your hard drive." And I was completely flabbergasted, blown out of my socks by how quickly this service was. And I said, "My girl, please, I'm a professor in teaching business. What is your secret? Where are you?" And she started saying, "I'm not allowed." I said, "Please, I'm not going to say anything. And I like what you're doing. I'm very, very happy." And eventually I convinced her to tell me. And she was telling me she's sitting in a remote village in Bangladesh answering that phone. The next morning, the guy was there to replace my phone. So it was not a lie. But that is a kind of service. You don't have to be everybody in the one office. You don't even need to sit in the same country that people are. So that dedicated personal service will for always be in my mind how Dell Computer was able to use that as for me. So I am a marketer of a Dell computer just because of the dedicated personal assistant that I had. Marketing tool for sure, because it's not only what they are marketing, is now word by mouth, but what your customer and your consumer, their experience that they have, that they can market. Okay. Or is your customer relationship in this case a self-service, where you must do everything yourself, where you say, okay, it happened now in McDonald's. Who is my? Let me just get my. Let me see your faces again. Who eats McDonald's? Everybody. Let me see here. Gregory, do you eat at McDonald's? Ronald, do you eat McDonald's?
Yeah, yeah. I just
Did,
ate yesterday.
You
And
just you
yeah,
just ate McDonald's.
yesterday I just ate that.
Oh,
I went to the drive-through.
okay, let me ask you this, Ronald. Is that your McDonald's also changed that you order now from a screen?
No, from the
Or
voice
can you
command.
from a person that's in front of you? Or
Nah,
the
voice
drive through?
from the voice
Okay,
command.
okay, that is okay. I don't know if any one of you use in many of McDonald's now in Thailand for sure. They don't have you don't go to a counter now to order your food from a little girl standing behind the counter. You go into it, then there's a big screen with all the Big Macs and small Macs and whatever you want to eat and French fries and Coke or whatever, and
Yeah, okay, I know that. Yeah,
you
Yeah,
press there and it orders it.
yeah.
yeah, you have that in the Philippines too.
And you just collect with your ticket number, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do
Or you
you
can
did
pay
you
directly there. Yeah.
did you use it, Mr. O?
Here in the Philippines, you have that big screen. You can pay directly to that big screen, or you can pay cash to a counter that just accepts cash.
Did you use that screen?
Yes.
I wish you scrubbed your hands after you touched that screen.
Oh, of course.
You know why? What they discovered now that on that screen that you order, they found parts on particles of feces. That means human poop.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
Because people use go to toilet and wash their asses, what they ask,
yeah.
and then they don't wash their hands and they use that screen
Oh yeah.
to
Oh,
press an
that's
order,
that's
and you go and you order on that same screen, so you have nice poop hands.
disgusting. But yeah. Luckily, when I do that, I go directly to the bathroom and then wash my hands
Uh,
with alcohol.
hopefully, hopefully you don't sneeze or feel something is in your tooth before you get to the bathroom. Okay, but coming back, so just for I just use as an example. So that is when the self-service can have a bad effect as well. But so in the customer relationship, self-service, it sounds nice. It cuts service costs for the guy, but now we're looking at not from me as a marketer, from me as a supplier side, but you're looking at from the customer service side. And in this case, it can become a big problem. Okay, or it can be something good depending on what you are buying or how you are buying it. But remember, people are very dirty in their, especially on their hands. It can create a problem. Okay, is it an automated service? You can have an automated service as well, like in Amazon. You can book and you can do everything and you buy everything online. You don't even find somebody that you are dealing with. The same with me with Lazada. You buy, you pay, and you don't see it. Even my bank now. Um, I do nothing anymore. I don't draw money anymore. I draw money just because no, I don't say it anymore because if I feel still it's convenient to go to the 7-Eleven here and pay with money, but you don't need to. I can do everything from my bank now, from my computer, my cell phone, and it's old technology maybe for you. For me, it's still new. Remember I'm the older generation, but what is the nice thing about it? If I pay like this, I don't pay bank fees, bank charges. When I go and I draw money, if my bank is a Kasikorn bank here in Thailand, if I go and I draw money in Bangkok, I pay no service charge. If I draw money from Kasikorn outside Bangkok, doesn't matter if it's 1 kilometer outside Bangkok, I pay 15 baht service charge for every time I use it. And then many times my ATM is not working. Where I use my phone, I even pay people who come to my house for delivery service. I pay them with my phone. There's no delivery charges. So in that case, it becomes nice by the way that that technology is playing a role in a completely automated service side. Does it help me with my bank? For sure. Does it make me feeling to use this bank? Yes. In the past, I feel like I'm going to kill this bank. I want to take my money out of this bank because this bank's ATM never worked. But now with this K service, or K plus service that I have, it's very easy, it's very nice, and whoop, money is coming in and money is going out, and it makes it much easier for me. So that can, again, from a customer side, it makes it nicer. Okay, The next one that you can look at the customer relations, communities. How can communities interact with you as a company? Okay, where can communities interact in the sense of telling you what is necessary with your product within their area, and do your marketing side includes that, or do we employ marketers or managers to come and work there and say, we must do ABC. That is good for marketing because the Pareto effect and this effect and the business canvas that Dr. Johan van Rooyen talk about, that is the best way to do our marketing. And we do that, and sometimes we fail because we did not involve the community we are working with in looking at, say, what is your suggestion to make it easier for us to market our product or to do our product. Again, just a quick example. I teach operation management in my university this term, or this fall semester. So in the semester, we've decided we're going to make vegetables and organic vegetables. So as I say, the students have different areas and they go and do research on it. So they asked the people, what vegetable would you prefer to be in a microgreen organic form that they can consume? So we have our ideas. So if I ask you, all of us have our ideas, which vegetable we think people would like to eat. And very, very interesting enough, and we were like shocked today after every group came back and gave their feedback. In Myanmar and in Thailand, people want to eat basil or basil. That is the organic food they want to have, number one. I would think something else, completely something different. They wanted basil. So if we did not ask the community, maybe I will sell them peas or beans. But the community say, we want organic microgreen food. We want basil or basil. And it was like, wow, okay. And that is how we would be surprised. Only Nepal was different. Nepal wanted to have spinach. They want to please. Is there somebody that can offer us spinach as an organic food? And in this case, what happened is we've been led by our marketing, not by somebody with a marketing degree, but by what the community wants. And that is what we actually want in a business. So creating that and looking at that will help us with using Business Canvas to see what the community's reaction is, even in the customer relationship. And then the last one is to bring your customer in to say, in a product, to say, come, help us create our next product. It's a bit far-fetched because our engineers, we know better. We don't. We don't know what these people want. If people were not asked about cell phones, probably the cell phone would still look like it did 20 years ago. Big old stuffy things that we cannot carry now, and we have to carry in a different bag or put it in our backpack because it's so heavy. Never thought a small cell phone will have all the things that we need in our life to have a business or to run a business even. And that is how, when people start to get involved in our product, looking at our marketing side completely away from the customer relations. Again, as I say, this is one tool that I'm using. I'm just taking the business canvas model a little bit into detail because you guys doesn't know it. Then the next part will be we're looking at in your business canvas model will be finances. Okay, how are we going to look at our cost structure? How are we going to classify our business structure? Are we cost driven? Are we going to look at low cost the whole time? Or are we value driven? Are we going to look at value above cost, depending on the product again? If I look at a very elastic product, probably I will be cost driven. That I say, let me go for lower cost. If I look at a lesser elastic and more inelastic product, I will say, okay, let's look at value driven. What is the value? What is the difference between the value? And let me. Luckily, I don't have any Indians there, or who drive a Tata car. Nobody have a Tata. What is the difference between a Tata and a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW? So in the one we're looking at a value, and the other one we're looking at cost driven. In China, when a few years ago, they were having, and they still manufacture this car called the QQ, a Q and a Q car. Okay, very very cheap in China. You buy this QQ car, it costs you about 30,000 baht. No, dollar, renminbi, 30,000 renminbi, Chinese yuan. On the same production line, next to it, in the same building, they ran Chevrolet, the small little Chevrolet car, the Chevrolet Spark. Nearly triple the amount, 120,000 renminbi. From 30,000 to 120,000 renminbi. Because the parts in the car is very different. It lasts longer. The bearings that they use is not from a local manufacturer, it's German bearing. So it's a different quality, but on face value, it looks the same. Which ones do you think the Chinese bought? The Spark, not the QQ. The QQ they export. The Spark was bought by the Chinese because the Chinese thought value over cost driven. So depending on your product, depending on what your product is how you're going to look at, again, at the cost structure that you have. What is your cost structure? What is your fixed cost? Can you cut away with fixed costs? Students, this is things that become very important. Let me just, where is my banking girl at? Ishara Kalpani. What is fixed cost? Ishara. Ishara is quiet, man.
Hi, sir. Yeah.
What is fixed cost?
Fixed cost.
If you don't know, no problem. I just asked you.
No, don't have idea about that.
Okay, no problem. Ishara, if you how do you call it? I say ishara, right?
Yeah, that's right.
If you take the H out of your spelling, if you say Isara, Isara, that is my boy's name. my son's name is Isara. I call him Aiden, but his real name is Isara. So that's why I ask you, because it was interesting to see your name spelling the same as my son. Okay, no problem. So your fixed cost, coming back to fixed cost, your fixed cost is the cost that if you make or manufacture no product, if you sell or you don't sell any product, that is a cost that is still going to be occurring. Like for instance, the rent of a building, or your payment of your salary staff. Okay, that is be your fixed cost. Fixed cost, I think, is changing a lot lately due to COVID-19 again, because now Mr. Ronald can work from home. He can be a manager working at a bank. He doesn't need to sit in the office. He can do Skype interviews or Google interviews with his people. He does not need to sit in an office.
Yeah.
Mr. Diaz can sit in the office and do classwork instead of doing his work. So he gets paid to sit in the class. But in his case, he's in office. So, Mr. Diaz, so you have to be in the office to make sure that the loading is done.
Sorry, sir?
So you need to sit in the office today because you have to physically see that they load the container.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So in this case, the fixed cost for the company will be higher than for, and I know it's not true, but I just use Ronald as an example. Or as a marketing guy, does marketing need to come to an office? Do marketing need to come to your company? No, they must be in the field. They can have meetings by using Google like we're doing now. They don't need to. If a marketer sits 3 days or 4 days in an office, I'm firing him. because a marketing guy must be in the field, being between the customers and doing his job.
Unless
And,
it's digital marketing.
and this is digital. Why?
Oh, they work in the digital area. They don't need to really visit the customer. They just need to collect the data, analytics, and everything, and then try to create the strategy for the digital markets, social media, and everything.
100% Ronald, but they don't even have to sit in the office. They can sit at their home.
Yeah, true. That's true.
So that office space, that fixed cost, we can actually start cutting away with that fixed cost. I don't say many people say because the problem with some business owners and big managers is I want to control my people. It's more a control issue than a trust issue. It's a trust issue more than a control issue because we don't trust our people that they will work from home. We will trust them if I can see them working there and bend over their computers. Or like I have my class today and my students are working there on the computers, and actually one Pakistani was watching their Lucifer or something on Netflix. But it looks like he's working. How many times did you catch yourself doing Facebook at work?
No, never.
Never. I don't have Facebook account. That's a good student, Ronald. But people are using social media instead of working. And I don't say in our case, but that is what is happening. Okay. So rather having, instead of having now I pay for him for an office and a chair and a desk and a telephone that he's not using and electricity, that fixed cost that I have to pay, rather to say, okay, guys, you can work from home. This is your sales target. And if you reach your target, happy. If you don't reach your target, you're going to pay me money. Yes. Where's my sales guy?
Yeah.
Ronald? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So what do we do in the beginning? I would like to be in a business now. I'm going to say, okay, business, I'm selling Coke. I have a Coke here. I don't drink Coke, but I put Coke here. I thought it would be too tired. So I'm going to sell Coke. Okay. So if my company, you are selling Coke. Sales managers or sales staff, your target is to sell 1 million liter of Coke this month. Oh, we don't know we're going to get it. Okay, so if you do not reach the target, it's okay. Next time we'll try again. So, but now I say to them, okay, in the beginning of the month, your sales target is 1 million, say 10,000 liters of Coke. 10,000 liters of Coke will give you a bonus of say 2,000 baht. If you don't reach your target, you must pay me the 2,000 baht back. So I give them the 2,000 baht before they do the sale.
Okay, so you give it in advance.
Give in advance. How many of them will reach the target?
Probably most of them or all of them.
All of them. If I say I'm going to give you 2,000 baht after the time, some of them, half of them will not reach the target.
Yeah.
Because people are, it's easier, no, it's more difficult to lose something than to gain something. It's harder for us to accept to lose something. So in this case, motivate them by saying, I give you the bonus before you do the job. And then they will work hard so they can keep the bonus because it's not their money yet, but they actually got the money already. So I don't want to lose this money. So let me work hard. So I'm going to sell this Coke. It's just that's a different way of looking at economics and at marketing, just for the interest sake. Okay, so I'm getting off the point because there's so much more I wanted to. So in the case, so you're looking at the stock structure, you're looking at the fixed cost. So fixed cost is the cost that we have there before anything happens. Our rent, the salaries that is there, is our fixed cost. Then we have our variable cost. This variable cost is depending on the amount of production or the amount of service we're giving. If I produce, that will be the cost with my direct labor involved with my product, or the raw materials I use within my product. That will be my variable cost. Okay, so that is the two most important ones that gives me my total cost. So variable cost, I can try to control it by looking at inventory to keep my inventory or inventory low as possible, and make sure that my people are getting a good salary and they get less waste. My fixed cost, I can cut away a lot if I can trust my people more by where they sit and work. And then I have the economies of scale. Is how does the cost go down by the more orders that is ordered? Okay, that's part of the cost structure. And then I have my economies of scope. The cost goes down when I have with the kind of product that I'm using. Okay, so that is my one part of my financial side. The other part is my revenue streams. How do I get my revenue? Okay, revenues can be my asset sales. That is when the physical goods that I sell out, or rent out, or lease out, depending on what is your company, what you are doing, or the service that I'm giving. Does the bank have does the bank have something to sell? Yes, Ronald. What does a bank sell?
Financial product, investment.
Yes, we sell money. Yes, we sell the use of money.
Yeah.
So yes, a bank sell as well. A bank sell that use of money. If we don't sell that use of money, our bank is going to collapse anyway, because saving is not going to make it for us. We need to get the people to borrow money from us so we can get money on the rental side, or
Sure.
on the insurance, on the interest side. Okay, so that is why it's very important that we're looking at what is our asset sale, what is our usage fee. If I have somebody who use a service, say under uninterrupted power supply from another company, or if I rent out my I had in the Maldives, I worked with a trading company that was actually the company that sucked out the sea sand, or the sand from the harbor area. That guy says actually they're getting money by renting out. Or in Thailand, if I have a tractor, I rent my tractor to do some job. That will be a usage fee, the fee that I earn by people using my asset, not so much buying my asset. Okay. Well, by a subscription fee, if I have like Netflix, people pay a subscription fee. That is a way that they can create money. That's another revenue stream. Or by leasing, or by renting something out, by licensing. If I licensing intellectual property, it can be another way of revenue stream. Brokerage fees. That's what happened with Ronald in the past when he was with a insurance company. The brokerage fees, so they can generate money from that. And you broker some insurance company, you get your money from it. Or I sell a house, the commission I get on that. That's also, if I sell on behalf of somebody else, that commission I get. Or advertising. And that is the revenue streams that I get from my canvas. And all that create for me my business canvas. Then I have my application side. So please look at the business canvas, and I don't want to go too much into detail more with it. Business canvas is one way I can look at my objectives and how I can do my marketing strategy. The other ones I'm going to go just quickly through it. The other one is a SWOT analysis. I think you all know what is a SWOT analysis. Anybody that doesn't know, please mention to me. If somebody doesn't know what's a SWOT analysis. So everybody's okay with a SWOT analysis?
Yep.
Okay. If you say you use SWOT analysis as your marketing tool, okay? Don't put your SWOT analysis with everything that's the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats within your paper, because it takes up the words, and you say too little for the examiner to mark you, and you say too little for. So put that SWOT analysis, the diagram that you make, the T diagram, put it as an annexure. It doesn't count as the words of your paper, but it supports the words that you put in your paper. From a SWOT analysis, I discovered this is my strengths and weaknesses, what can be important. You write just quickly about it, that you refer back into your annexure, or to that you attach to your document as your SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is an easy way also to looking at marketing. The strengths that we have, the weaknesses. Strengths and weaknesses is normally your internal side. What is my own strengths, my weaknesses within my company. The weaknesses, we try to make it strengths, and my strengths, I must be careful that it doesn't go into weaknesses. And then my opportunities and threats is my external side. What opportunities is there in the marketplace? What threats is there in the marketplace? So SWOT analysis, very easy, that you can use. Then there's another one that we can use in our marketing side. It's called the Porter 5 Forces. And I don't know if you know about that. It means in the Porter 5 Forces, you're looking at how it interacts with each other. And in this case, we're looking at how the suppliers are there, how the buyers are there, and if my computer just moved faster. So how will it all interact within my competitive rivalry? If I'm looking at the threats of new entries, okay? My ear is itchy. Sorry, I have this thing on too much. Then you're looking at what is the threats of a new if I'm a new company breaking into a place, okay, breaking into a new market or new environment. What will be the threats to my company? Time and the cost of my entry. What is the specialist knowledge I have? My economies of scale, we already did that. We know what's that. My cost advantage, the technology protection, and what can be the barriers to entry. In your portal, you're looking even at the barriers to entry in your marketing plan. Then you're looking at my buyer power. What is the buyer power that we have? The size of my buyers, the prices, how sensitive is my price or my price to my price and my goods to the price of the buyer's ability to buy. Is it elastic or inelastic product? That is the ability to substitute. If I don't want to drive a Tata car, can I substitute it with a Hyundai or with something else or whatever the case may be? So what is the cost changing of my buyer's power? What is my buyer's thought when it comes to the product that I have? Okay. The next one we have is a threats to substitution. What substitution products can they be? Students, this is something that if it's not in your paper, it's not a problem, but it's something that you have to look at in your own company in the future. Is the influence of China on the marketplace. If you're looking what happened now in the world, and I look at all my companies here, I think it's only Sri Lanka that is maybe not in the situation where most of us. If I look at Philippines and I look at Maldives, all of us is trying to move away from the Chinese dominance in product dominance. So by looking at that, so we have to look at what else is there available when it comes to the product. What substitution can I have to the product? It does create problems in America, for instance. It became such a big problem that they wanted to support the Trump ideology by saying, let's make America great again by manufacturing the electric bikes in America. But they run into trouble because there was no substitution company within America for spare parts. So in your marketing plan, whatever you want to say, make sure there is a backup plan. Okay, and that is when you come back into the porter side, that you're looking at what is not only what is your own way, and also what is the rivalry, what is the competitor doing, what is a competitor, how is a competitor surviving in this time, okay? From the buyer side, but also from your supplier. How many suppliers are there available? What is the cost if you want to change your supplier? That is on your porter side. So if you want to use that again to looking at your marketing strategy, then you use Porter. Again, Porter is a big discussion with more than 500 words by itself. So rather mention, if you want to use Porter, use a little bit of it and refer back into your notes or into your attachments that you use Porter, and then the whole thing how you set it up and how you break it down, put it as your annexure, not put it into your paper. Just discuss it in your paper, referring back, because 500 words is very, very few words when you start to write something about the marketing strategy that you want to follow. Another one that you can use, let me just get back here, is a journey map. In a journey map is not your journey, but what is your customer's journey? How do your customer know you? How do you know your customer? What is your customer? How did he get to you? It starts off, how did your customer, pre-engagement, how did your customer know about your company? Then how does your marketing plan influence them in a commercial way that they have? And so if your customer comes to you the first time, they will be in your front office. So that will be what you see in the front. Then after that, you go and what is a customer then coming to your consultation? I mean, they're going to ask you, how can I do this? What is your product possibility? Back in the banking, what do you offer me if I want to use your bank? So that is all front office, but now behind it, you will have also the back office where the staff will start working and taking the information and trying to create something. And that is where many of you are involved in creating the software to update and keep the front office going. But you as even if you develop a new project or you develop a new software that you are using in the digital marketing side, you must know what is a customer in the front office, what is his requirement, and what is his journey through this whole project. That helps when you're looking at marketing strategy for the future, okay? And how are you going to catch him to not only to be interested and inquire about you or consult about you, but initiating, how are you going to initiate him to commit himself to be with you as a company? How are you going to get that guy walking in to say, okay, I'm going to use this bank to make sure that this bank, because it's not going to be about how we can do it, but what he can experience from the bank, for instance. So that is when it comes to looking through it and looking at the customer journey plan, is how your customer from the beginning till how the completion of the contract or the completion of the product, or and the completion of the product must be your customer must actually become your sales or your marketing guy in the future because of the service that you gave, and then all the back office things that you did and the programming that you did will play a role for what the customer was experiencing through this whole process of your marketing strategy. Your marketing strategy must make sure that you're looking at it from a customer perspective, not what you think your product is worth, but what your customer thinks the product is worth. Okay. And then another one is a positioning map. The positioning map is you say, okay, I have a high quality or I have a low quality, a low cost and a high cost, and you position your own company with your own brand within this map. Most of the time, if you have more than one brand, you can put it there, and say you have more than one product, and I'm thinking quickly of the bank. If you have different products that you have, you can market them, you can put them out there. That can be a strategy that you can look at. Okay. Before I go on and I talk about the next one, any questions so far from anybody? Quiet.
None from me. None from me, Doc.
Okay. You understand what I'm talking about on a moment? Oh, Ronald?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Diaz, no question?
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? No question? Right. Then I'm going to go on. So hopefully you find you start to see that 500 words is very, very few words.
It is. That's why I'm looking at the questions, and then I see like 500 was kidding me.
Yes, it's scary but now, so to give that examiner and for you also a good point to start and write, okay, let me start writing. It's going to be crazy. You're going to write about one thing and there's more than 500 words. So if you want to get, and they be critical about the strategies, not one strategy. So I would rather put them in an annexure by answering this question and just give but again, I'm not going to use 4 or 5 strategies. I would say 2 or 3. I will use about 3 strategies that I think my company is using, and that will be the ones that I will discuss. But I will discuss them and the interesting parts of them. The non-interesting or the I can't say the non-essential information because all information is essential, but the information that I want the reader to read. Again, it's not about me writing, but my reader who's going to, my examiner is going to read it, to make it for him to feel like, wow, let me go back into this. Let me see what's happening. Oh, there's a graph. Wow. And your graphs and all your tables, you put it in your annexure or on your attachments. That was like, wow, okay. And immediately you get that wow effect again. And your score will definitely count higher. That's how I would mark it in my class. And the only thing that becomes bad about this is that if you follow this way, the examiner is going to have a problem. They say, oh my goodness, everybody is A. Why did I get that A in my class? And is my work too easy, or is that my marking way is too easy? In my class today, I give my students a small assignment, and they came back with and undergrad students, and they came back with research, and they researched 40 to 50 people that they interviewed and asked questions, and they went on to Google and said, oh my God, where do you know this? I said, because Professor, you taught us this way before. Now it became natural. And I was like, okay, after that, go home, because there's nothing else I can teach you today. Because whatever I taught you in the past, it comes to practical ways now, and these kids are keen on doing whatever they want to do now, or whatever topic I give them, because they found a system that works for them and make it interesting. The same with your answering this paper. It's very important to keep the interest of your reader. 500 words is not a lot, but it's easy in 500 words. In 5 words, you can make that guy fall asleep. Get him involved, and they say, wow, this is something that maybe I want to go and I want to research it myself, because it's so interesting in what your guys are doing. Okay, then another way is I'll come back to what I want to discuss. Let me just get my computer to move, because that is now very slow. Another way you can do it is to use a segmentation chart. That's another marketing segmentation chart. Is another tool that you can use in looking at the marketing strategy. In a segmentation tool, you break down your wider market into smaller groups, like we did with the segmentation before, okay? And you break it down into the characteristics of the people, and in their wants and into their needs, what people want and what people need. Because marketing eventually concentrate on the wants of people, because what we want is what we buy, not what we need. We need to have a telephone, and we all have cell phones, because that's what we wanted. And most of us have the best and the top cell phone, because it makes us just feel nicer. Okay? So what we're doing with the segmentation, we use it also for personalized marketing campaigns, and also to identify in our marketing strategy what is the needs and the wants of the customer. Okay? And is there a better solution? What else do people want? Let me take somebody. Who didn't I pick on tonight? Mr. Ibrahim, I didn't pick on you tonight yet. Yes. Shanice, did I pick on you? Shanice, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you there, Shanice? Why are you here tonight?
Hello?
Why are you here tonight?
Yeah. I just want to know exactly how we have to write the assignment. That's the reason
Okay.
I'm here.
Why do you want to know how to write the assignment? I told you I'm going to pick on you. Why do you want to know how to write the assignment? Shani? Yes, problem with his. Why do I feel like I'm offline now?
Oh, no, Doc. You're still on.
I'm still there. Okay, Shanice, I'm gonna not pick on you because you're too slow to answer me. Okay, right. Let me pick somebody else. Earl or Robert? Ronald. Oh, I'm going to pick on you. Why are
Okay.
Why are you here tonight?
To well, first my expectation was to learn more about the assignment and how to write it. What's the format?
Okay. So why do you want to know the expectation? Why do you want to know how to write it in the format?
And so that I can do it properly,
Why do you want to do it properly?
so that I can get a very good grade,
Why do you want a good grade?
so that I can pass the course,
Why do
uh,
you,
flying colors,
Why do you want to pass the course?
so that I can progress with my career faster.
Aha. So the main reason why you are here tonight is because you want to progress with your career.
Yes.
And what did I use? I said I was picking on you, but it actually we call it the 5 whys. If you ask a why and a why and a why and a why and a why, after 5 or 6 whys, you'll get actually to the root thing why people will attend the course. And yes, it's nothing wrong. We want to study because we can have a degree or a better degree sometimes. We want this degree because I want to have a better life. I want to have a better job. I want to have a better income or whatever the case may be. So that's the same that you must look at when we're looking now at looking at the segmentation of the market. Okay, the market segmentation. We have a few things that we can look at. We're looking at the first one. We can say we're looking at the demographics. Okay, what is my market? What is the demographic? What? How many? Um, can I say gender? What is the gender of the people using my product? Even in the bank, what gender is buying my product? Is it uh, male? Is it female? Is it is it
Female.
I don't know. Male, female. I don't know. I don't know. I still have an older guy. I don't know how to say if people and I have nothing. I'm not like if you're bisexual or what if you are whatever transsexual whatever. I don't know if what to call if it's male or female. For me, still is an issue. In my age, I don't know how do you guys call it?
Well, LGBTQ.
Yes, and that's right. That's a better word. Thank you very much. Are you LGBTQ? And that is a gender that I have to look at my demographics. Okay, what is the marital status of my people? In my demographics, I will look at marital status. Are they single? Are they in a relationship? Are they living together? Are they uh, whatever the case may be? Do they live with the children alone or whatever? Okay, I'm looking also at the age. Demographics. We're also looking at the age. What age people is using my product? Um, that will create for me a segment to see how I must look at my product. Another one is in our demographics is what is the income group of these people. And I don't say like once put it in, you can put it into a different range. So you can put some different ranges in there. What is the income range of my people in my demographic group by my self market segmentation? And then I can say also what is the ethnic background of my people. Okay, of my group. Ethnic background doesn't mean I'm Filipino. And there's just something I want to know. Because I see you were on first.
Yes.
In Philippines, you only have one ethnic group, or you have also many different ethnic groups within Philippines.
Um,
We call
we have
ourselves
a lot of,
Filipino, but
yeah,
we have
we are Filipinos, but we do have a lot of other. It's more tribes than,
yes, that tribe. Then you break it down into that tribe inside.
yeah. That we do
And
have
so
a lot of them.
yes, so okay, he calls it tribes, I call it ethnic groups, but in this case, that is what I mean. So in this case, you break down the groups into what is their background, because people here have different ways of looking or different belief, or they will buy together as a group in certain cases. Like in Thailand, we have also quite a few different ethnic groups, but it's also area strains in this case. If my wife is a Thai, from the northern provinces, from northwest, from Chiang Mai area. They don't mix with the south people. They both Thais, but they don't like the southern people because the northern people think they were not part of the Thai people. They actually were a country by themselves called Lana. So for them, they even have a little bit of difference in the dialect that they're speaking, and both are Thais. They are father Thai, my Thai. They all live in Thai. But that you can start to have a effect in if you're looking at your market segmentation. Who are you going to market? So breaking it down in demographics. The other one you can break it down in market segmentation is into geographics. In this case, if it's north and south regions, if it's local, is it urbanized? You can look at the way demographics, geographics can play a role. Is it mountainous or in I think in the Philippines case, is it which island? There's too many islands to make all the islands in one, but can you group the islands in certain specific groups together, or if you're only in one area, you can break it urban or rural and which side. So you can look at demographics in that case. The same would happen to Maldives. I think Maldives also you have all these islands, but in the Maldives, Ibrahim, you can tell Shanice, you will know more. You have the northern Maldives and the southern Maldives, yes?
Yeah, north and south.
Why do you classify like that? I just ask for interest sake.
In southern area of Maldives, they speak totally different compared to us. More like a Sinhala. It's very similar to Sri. I mean,
Okay, so it's a completely different dialect.
the Sinhala language, Sri Lankan language.
Okay, so the culture is also different, or is it the same all over Maldives then? Because I hear it many times from my friends that is in Maldives. They say, no, we are from the northern Maldives. So they differentiate between northern and southern Maldivian.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much difference by the living, and I think it's only the way of speaking. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
But but again, like in what happened in Thailand, but you can also break it down to is also religion, because in the southern parts we have more the Islam religion. In the northern parts is more Buddhist. So the same happened in India. I think it happened. So you can break it down not as much to say which religion is in which area, but to segment your group that you know which part you can treat a different way or market a different way. It can play a role in the way that your marketing is accepted by the community. And that's why we're looking at this also as a marketing strategy. The other one we can look is psychographics. In this case, we're looking at the attitudes of people. Is an attitude of let me use an example of acceptance of the in Thailand of the royalty or not the acceptance of the royalty. If they're not acceptance of a royalty, they even try to dress different. Okay, or activities in the Bangkok area, people like activities. They like to go out and they go partying at night. Up in the northern provinces, they don't like to party at night. They're mostly farmer communities, so they go to sleep early or they drink a lot. So in that case, you can make even the psychographics. You can break it down, or the personality and values. How they value different things can be a marketing way. The strategy, why we're doing this, is to try to cover all the basics and all the avenues that we're looking at the marketing. What is the pros and the cons of doing that, and how can it help me in my strategy formulation of my marketing plan? And that's what it's all about. And then, okay, from the psychographics, can be the last one is the behavioral. What is the benefits of having this product? What is the usage rate of this product? And what patterns can it be? What is the behavior of my consumer regarding my product? if you use this as a way to look at it, it's also, you can have a lot of things that you can write about it in your strategy. Then let me just get if my thing can go faster. Okay, then we can have the further, we can break it down in best prospects, high prospects, the people that will buy my product, or low strengths, or what people don't want to buy. It's not attractive to certain markets, or not fitting the area, and that is when we start to looking at the how is my resource strength towards my attractiveness of my product. Um, it depends again on the area, and it depends again on the people. It looks again at if it's a low prospect with poor low and a poor prospect, it means it will not fit this area. Again, age play a role. I don't think this one is has enough to talk about in this case, so that's why I go jump quickly from it. Another strategy can be the Keller's brand equity model. Now, in this case, in your marketing strategy, and again, I just give you a few examples of what you can use in answering. Don't use them all. There is a lot out there. Building a brand. Identify what your brand is meaning. Identify customers responding to your brand. If you're looking at age and you're looking at demographics, the younger people will be more brand conscious than the older people. Now you bring it back into geographics. The people from, in my case, Bangkok, will be more brand aware than it is people from say Chiang Mai, where I live. In my case, people will be more interested in if it looks like, if it is new, even if it's a Chinese fake, it will be okay for them as well. So again, looking at the demographics, looking at this will give you an idea of how you can do your branding side. And in this case, you identify what is your brand equity, what is the meaning, what is your meaning of your brand equity, what do the people want, what is the performance of it is, what is the imaginary idea of your brand. Okay, the response to your brand. How do people feel about your brand? How do they feel about your bank? And let me ask Robert. Robert, why did you change to a bank? What is the people's feeling about your bank, the new bank? Ronald is gone.
Yes. Can you repeat?
Yes. How do the people feel about your bank?
Well, I'm not quite sure.
Aha! But you changed your company.
Yeah, it's actually it's a multinational bank, so probably the trust is more because the reputation of the bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that becomes an important part. The reputation of the bank, multinational bank, because it's already something different. So in this case, when you're looking at it, you're looking at how do
Yeah.
the people feel about the bank? What is their judgment? Multinational bank immediately think, oh, okay, it has a better chance to survive, whatever case it can be. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the loyalty to a bank? How many people stay within your banking system? Students, and there is much more marketing ideas that you can have. I just ran through a little few of them. That there is sort of the unsolved. I remember there's an unsolved matrix. You can look at some other matrices that identifying how you're looking at even at the logo as a marketing strategy. But whatever you are doing, and you write about them, there is so much information that you cannot go through all the strategies. Again, as I say, when you answer this question, take 2 or 3 strategies, because the paper is so a few words that you have to write. Looking at something that you are interested in again writing. Okay, because when I'm looking at the way that they're going to market, let me just get to this marking page again here, and you're looking at the marking. There is criteria 80 plus. Okay, it means extensive evaluation and synthesis of the ideas includes substantial original thinking. We want original thinking, so bring in COVID-19. I'm going to just go through the 80 plus now. If you want to have a 80 score, application of theory and literature, in-depth, detailed, relevant theory, expertly integrates literature to support ideas and concepts. So take one or two of these ideas that I mentioned quite a few here tonight and discuss a few here. Take only one or two of them and go in depth with them. Don't mention even the others. Go into depth with them, and then in your attachment that you say, and then the person will feel interested. Write it in such a way that they say, wow, I want to go read about it. Knowledge and understanding, extensive depth and understanding and exploration beyond key principles and concepts. In this case, we can say yes, SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis gives us opportunities and strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats. This is my strengths, this is my weakness, opportunities and threats. And you know what? You're going to get an opportunity and threat. You will have more threats and opportunities if I had to mark it. Because it's not interesting. That way, that information you can put somewhere else. But write about the opportunities that were in my marketing strategy is the following. Blah 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 blah. And that will create for me so much money, and that will create for me so much more. And you make estimates on your figures and your facts that you are using to make sure that you're not, anybody know. And I swear, even if my 5-year-old boy, if I ask him what's the SWOT analysis, he will know, because he was even in my class when I was teaching SWOT analysis at university more than once. So what is new in that? A SWOT analysis is new, that when you can take that SWOT analysis and you can create it and you can make it alive, you blow life into something like that. Or you use the business canvas model and you say, let me blow life into it, and let's look at it from a consumer point of view. Let's look at it from a financial point of view. And people will say that I want to read your paper, because that is what is important. That is when you start extensive depth, understanding, and exploration of the theory. When you're looking at presentation and writing skill, yes, logical. We talked about this in the writing class. Coherent and polished presentation, exceeding expectation. If a student asks me in my class always, how do I get A? Not an A minus, but how do I get an A in your class? The only thing I said is very easy. Exceed my expectation. And that is when I said, wow, I want to read more. That immediately put for me that you not only know the theory of it, but you can bring it practically in. And that is what I think LIBT also want to express here. And what they ask with the question, if you can use your own company, bring it into it, and don't bring in something that you feel is sensitive information. Use information that is not sensitive, that is general knowledge. Don't bring sensitive information that can bring you into trouble, or that can make a situation where you feel uncomfortable, or the reader uncomfortable. So bring something in there that show graphs, tables, that shows me that you know your topic, you know what you were writing about. Okay, and then for sure we know what is referencing. What else I say here, for each criteria, list of the first column, circle the box with the corresponding. Okay, that's the directions, and then how they mark it here again is content is 50%. Application of theory and literature is 40%. So that's already 90 out of 220. So that's already nearly half of 20% of your score. Your knowledge and understanding, if you start to write and you start to use one or two of these principles and you write it and it makes your people interested, immediately I know and I feel that you have the knowledge and understanding of the theory. And to bring the knowledge is theory plus experience. So that is, both of them is there. And then your writing skill does not count that much. It's what's it? 5 divided by 20, 40 is 20%, 20 points, okay? But that immediately gives you, if you write nice, it makes a difference. And then your referencing and your writing way is 80 out of the 220. But if you can, for 140%, it's very easy. If referencing is easy, that's 40 in your pocket. Presentation, say if you do a good writing skill or do an average writing skill, say 30. And if you can do from the other 140 points that are on offer, and you can write it clearly, and you can write it that guy said, I want to read it more. It's easy to get an A, but not only the A is not only good for you only get that mark on your paper, but for you going back into your business, you're going to start looking at the marketing and the presentation within your own company different, and you become a game changer in your own organization as well. And that is making the difference in the world, not even in your organization. And I hope by doing that, you guys will have a little bit more effect of what is happening in question 1, where you actually have to critically evaluate it. Question 2 or task 2 is a little bit easier. In task 2, review your work again. So number 1 will be okay. And analyzing the sectional component parts of the marketing plan, evaluate the critical sections of the plan. So now you start to evaluate that plan, okay? Review the hierarchy sections, and then so whatever you decide to write in the first part or in the first one, that is the one you're going to continue further on in question 2 in task 2, and we will talk about that next week, and develop a marketing plan and review your sentence. So I will talk next week, no, on Sunday, about the marketing plan, how you're going to look at the marketing plan. So what you did in the first one, whichever you chose in the first one, you're going to review and you're going to discuss it even more into detail in task 2, point 1 and point 2. And again, it's very few words, it's 500 words. And then in task 3, you are asked to construct a marketing plan for a specific area within your responsibility. So that is what we were going to look at on Sunday. We'll talk about the marketing plan and what is essential within the marketing plan. And I hope on Sunday everybody is rested after the. Some people have 1 day and other people have 2 days. And Ibrahim, you had today was your day off, eh? Friday's Maldives is Friday's day off. I think so. But in the meantime, so I hope you guys are rested. So on Sunday, I want more interaction.
Yes, sir.
You and Ronald is talking to me. I like that. Gregory and I have a Prasad. Pereira is quiet. Diaz is just talking to me sometimes. John is there in name tonight. And Nuwan not asking because there's only one eye looking at me.
I believe it's LIBT stuff, right?
John is the staff, Dr. Yuan. John is our staff. He just joined.
John is, I know, but John
Yes,
always talks to me, but tonight he's quiet.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Snoring, John, snoring. I think snoring tonight.
Still up.
Okay.
Yes, because what time is it with you? 12 o'clock tonight? 12 o'clock already?
Yes, 12
Yes,
midnight.
Midnight, yes. Midnight in Philippines. Yes, 11 o'clock. Now I'm going to drive 10 hours to go home now. Okay, guys. So I hope I'll see you on Sunday. But again, create for me questions that you guys want to ask, and things that you want to have clarity about before you're writing. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
Then thank you very much, Da. It's up to you.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Johan, and thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you very much for attending my class and being quiet, John.
All right. Good night.
Thanks.
Okay, good night.
Thanks,
See you on
Dr.
Sunday.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night. Have a good weekend.
True.